I'm back with another poem by Dr. Allama Muhammad Iqbal. My today's poem is from Armaghan-e-Hijaz book, number 23, and there is no title. I don't see a title there. So in this poem, Iqbal is talking about slavery, okay? Slave, who is a slave person, what is slavery, and what happens during this condition, when someone is slave of something or someone, and how to get rid of it, how to be a free person, okay, how to get rid of this slavery, okay. So मौत है एक सख्त तर जिसका गुलामी है नाम, okay. So generally we associate fear and pain with death, the death that we have, So generally we associate fear and pain with it because we don't know, like nobody's there, nobody has ever come back to tell us that, this is what happens during the death, okay. So we associate fear and pain with it, okay. But Iqbal is saying that maybe that death is not that that painful, okay. Maybe it's just like tasting something, okay. Your wife calls you from kitchen, he's cooking something and he tells you that can you please taste this, and okay, and you taste it and you just give her, you tell her that there is more salt in it, okay, and then you go back to whatever you were doing before, okay. So maybe it's something like that, okay. Maybe it's like something like that, maybe you just move on to another dimension, and there is this newer seen and unseen, okay. So maybe the picture changes for you, but you keep living, okay. So but Iqbal is saying that slavery, okay, slavery, it's the hardest thing, okay. It's the bitterest experience for a person to be a slave, okay, and for a society it's the hardest thing, okay. It's this slow painful death that a person goes through every single day, and then a society goes through, okay. So then here is the so how do we define slavery and how do we define slave, okay. So my understanding is that from reading Iqbal, that slave is a person who is slave of his own mind, okay. So we have our mind, and there are thoughts in this mind, and we have this ability of thinking and reasoning and contemplating and evaluating everything that comes in our mind, okay. And accordingly we rearrange those thoughts and we do our actions, we perform our actions, okay. But when a person becomes slave of his mind, okay, that's when his actions are dictated by his mind, okay. He cannot decide for himself, okay. His actions are dictated, governed by his mind, okay. His mind propels his actions, okay. Just let me give you an example, okay. So there is this person who smokes cigarettes, okay. So he's a chain smoker, he smokes cigarettes. So he wakes up in the morning, and God has given him another morning, so what he does, his mind, the first thought his mind puts into him, that you have a long day ahead, okay. So why not just start with a cigarette on bed, okay. So that's what he does, okay. Before getting out, getting off the bed, he smokes a cigarette, okay. And similarly, after every 15-20 minutes, there will be this thought, urgent thought, okay. Quick message will be delivered that whatever you're doing, it's not that important, smoke first, okay. And seriously, during prayer, I have seen, during Friday prayers, I have this experience myself, okay. So to be frank, okay, so during prayers, okay, during Friday prayers, you cannot concentrate on prayers, okay, because there is this thing in your mind that didn't I tell you that you smoked before praying, okay, you didn't listen to me, okay. And so what happens, as soon as you are done with the prayer, you just rush to the door, and you just stand right there and smoke a cigarette, okay. You may see those brothers smoking cigarettes outside the masjid, okay, right after the prayer, okay. So yeah, so this is just one harmless example that I gave you, okay. There may be urges, there may be other thoughts, lusts, whatever, so if you are propelled, your actions are propelled by those thoughts, those urges, those that's when we become slave of them. Okay, that's how I would define slave, and that's how I think that Iqbal is defining slave here. Okay, and then not just person. Okay, when you have this, the slave, society. Okay, everybody's like that. Slave of their own minds. So you have this entire society, that becomes a slave society. Okay, so what's the how do you identify this society? Okay, so this society will let every single thought, every single idea, any foreign idea, anything that is foreign thought, ideas, whatever, they will allow it. Okay, they will allow it, and they will absorb it, and they will follow it. Okay, they will become followers of those ideas and thoughts, and whatever comes from outside. Okay, they do not have they cannot compare, they don't have something to compare with. Okay, they don't have that mechanism. There is no mechanism that they compare these foreign ideas and thoughts to their own, something of their own. Okay, so it's like the God has made this ozone layer around our earth. Okay, so what this ozone layer does is that it allows those sunlight, the angelic light, I would call, the sunlight, it allows sunlight to peep through, to penetrate through and come to us, because that's why we have life on earth. Okay, but then it stops and it blocks all those harmful radiations that come with the light. Okay, with the sunlight. Okay, so but this society, it does not have this protective covering around themselves. Okay, so they let every thought, every idea penetrate through, into their minds and souls. Okay, and they have in their mind that whatever is foreign, it's superior to, if there is anything of their that they have of their own. Okay, so they think that it is superior. Okay, so they just follow, they just absorb it and they follow it. Okay, and that's how this society, you can identify these societies. Okay, so a bitter, a painful experience for a person and for a society. Okay, मौत है एक सख्तर जिसका ग़ुलामी है नाम, मकरो फ़ने ख्वाजगी काश समझता ग़ुलाम. So Iqbal is saying that I wish this slave person can understand that what his master wants him to do. That master who is putting these thoughts in his mind. Okay, the whisperer, the constant whisperer, who has pledged to God that I will 24/7, I will deviate this Adam, son of Adam that you created, I will deviate him from the right path. Okay, so 24/7 he is putting these seeds into his mind. Okay, and if you don't have this ability to to see the difference between what's a reasonable thought and what is this the whisperer's idea, you cannot differentiate between them. That's when you just allow them and you become a slave of that, those thoughts. Okay, so and also even this society, when you have this slave society, slave mentality, so they cannot understand that their masters, what the true intentions of their masters are. Okay, their masters are their leaders, who are there ruling them. Okay, so they cannot understand their true intentions, and that's what Iqbal is saying, that I wish they do understand. शर मलूकाना में जिद्दत अहकाम देख सूर का गोगा हलाल हश्र की लज्जत हराम. Okay, so Iqbal is saying that let me go back to my the Pakistani society that I have. Okay, and so we have so there comes this president. Okay, I don't want to like personalize things, but my points, but it's a very good point that I can personalize. Okay, so we had a president. Okay, President Musharraf. Okay, he was there. Okay, so in his time he came up with this brilliant idea. He said that there is this enlightened version of religion that we need. Okay, so his idea it sold quickly, it sold very well, and everybody danced to his idea. Okay, they accepted it, and they like this idea. Okay, so because there was nothing to the people, they had nothing to compare it with to that idea. Okay, and so he sold his product, and then he just left. Okay, and then before him before him there was another person, okay, another dictator, okay. So he had his own, idea of religion, okay. He sold his product, the hardcore version of that, religion. He sold it, he stayed there for the whole time, and people accepted it, happily, and they adopted, okay. And in between there were others, who had, they sold their own ideologies if they had any, okay. So they just followed that, and everybody, every member of the society, rather majority members of the society, they agreed with those ideas, whatever they, they had to sell, okay. So this is your slave mentality, okay. Your master can make you believe that this idea, this, this enlightened version is halal for you, you all agree with that, yep, that this is halal, okay. Then another person can come and, he can say that, no, this version is haram, okay, this version is not halal for you, and you all agree to that, that this is not halal. The reason is that you don't have your own independent thinking or independent thought, okay. You don't have something of your own to compare with, okay. So yeah, these masters, your masters can make you believe, the same thing, they can make you believe that this is halal, and after some time they can make you believe that this is haram, okay. And this has been going on in my society, okay. So that's why I gave you the personal examples. So ऐ के गुलामी से है रूह तेरी मुज़महिल सीनाए बेसोज में ढूंढ खुदी का मकाम, okay. So now Iqbal turns to this slave, that your soul is ruptured, okay. So your soul is ruptured, when the kids are playing with a balloon, okay, and someone pinches that balloon, with the needle, so it pops, okay. So when it pops, whatever is left of the balloon, that's actually your soul, okay. That's the condition of your soul. It's lying on the ground, and anybody can step on it, okay. So it's ruptured, okay. So what you need to do is that you need to repair your soul, okay. You need to inflate it, you need to repair it, so that people, the kids can play with it again, okay. The others that are around you, they can look at you, and they can happily look at you, okay. So how to do this, okay? Sinai besoz mein dhoond khudi ka maqam. The way to do it would be, the first step to repair your soul would be to search for this khudi, okay? Search for this khudi, and search for it, yourself, okay? Try to find, what this khudi is, yourself, okay. I am not the right person to talk about it, and I am not the right person to tell you about khudi, okay. And why should I tell you about khudi? Because it's your job, your soul is ruptured, you find it for yourself, okay. What is khudi, okay? You have spent so much time, watching those talk shows, on televisions, okay. So much time over these last 10-15 years, okay. You have wasted your time. Those talk shows won't give you anything, they won't repair your soul, and they won't change anything that's around you, okay. Trust me, okay. So what you need to do is, just spend like 10-15-20 minutes a day. Try to search this what this khudi is, and if you find an answer, share it with me and share it with others that are around you, okay. And adopt, whatever you learn of this, adopt it, so that your soul heals, okay. I can tell you that this khudi is very important for your soul, okay. It's actually blood of your soul, okay. Your soul will not be alive, it will not take off until it has khudi running in its veins, okay. So you have to upload khudi onto your soul, okay. That's when it will take off, and then it will enjoy, and it will enter into the realm of unseen, the things that are unseen for you. It will be able to see those unseen things, okay, and you will enjoy it, okay. So yeah, so instead of wasting your time on watching those talk shows, just block them, okay, and then spend 10-15 minutes searching for what is this khudi, and then when you find an answer, share it with me, share it with others, and then start acting on those, okay. And start healing our souls, okay. Together we can do it, okay. So yeah, so that's my understanding of this poem. So please, if you have your understanding of this poem, share it with me, and together we can improve our understanding of this poem, and as well as of Iqbal's, okay. So please take care of yourself, and I'll be back inshallah with another poem of Iqbal.